Hello and welcome. My name is Rubyace and this is c.a.t, also known as c.a.t. Today I'm going to feature Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is currently in beta but it will be released soon. Counter-Strike is one of the best known FPS titles. Its history goes back to being Half-Life 1 mod, which was later adapted by Valve to be released as commercial game back in year 2000. Since then there has been few different versions, and latest before Global Offensive is Counter-Strike Source, which was released back in 2004. So maybe it was time for Valve to actually release new game from this IP. But you might wonder, is it worth buying? Well, at first I have to say it's pretty cheap. The game costs €14 and it is currently discounted for $12.59. The game is still running on Source engine, but it has been modified to look better and maybe even work better. At least I've noticed that the game works better than CSS apart from the beta bugs. I don't use any official measurement or anything. The difference which I see and think is important is that it actually lets you alt-tab to desktop without any huge waiting time or problems after coming back to the game, which have been more or less a problem with every game that runs on Source engine, at least for me. And it runs pretty smoothly. Sad thing for those who have old computers and can just barely run Counter-Strike Source, Global Offensive won't run on exactly the same computer, even though the engine is same. But that is really a problem with old computers and cheap laptops. So what about the gameplay? Back with Source, Valve didn't introduce that much changes to the game. It was mostly graphical update with some tweaks and changes to weapons. This time they have changed the weapons a lot more. For example, there is now 4 shotguns in game, when it used to be just 2. The shop menu have also been changed, but I don't really think it's that much of an improvement. It is actually looking like it would be made for consoles rather than PC. When it comes to hitbox, I think it's a mixer of 1.6 and Source. It is somewhere in between. Of course, with the hitboxes it comes down to preference and to what you are used to, but I like it more than in Source as I think it's a bit easier to hit your target. With Global Offensive there is now more official game modes than before. Back in older versions there used to be mods for different game modes such as Can Game and so on. Now Valve has decided to introduce 2 new game modes and few more options to old ones. New game modes are called Arms Race and Demolition. Arms Race is what used to be called as Gun Game. You start to work your way up by getting kills with every weapon. Each kill gets you rewarded with new weapon, and finally you have only a knife which you have to use to gain the last kill and win that match. In this mode you have instant respawn so that you get back to competing about kills right away. Personally I like the fact a lot that they introduced this mode as an official one, as it was my favorite back in Source. When it comes to Demolition, it is a bit of variety of bombing missions and arms race. You have small maps where you have only one bombing scene. Terrorist team has to either successfully plant the bomb or kill all the opponents, and counter-terrorists of course have to prevent bomb from blowing off or to kill all the terrorists. The guns are also rewarded on kills, but instead of instantly giving new one, you get them at the start of each round. In this mode, as in every other mode except Arms Race, once you die you are dead until the next round starts. The classic modes, bombing and hostage missions, have received 2 different modes. One is so-called casual mode where you gain half of the money from kill and you can walk through allies. the hardcore mode gives you full money from kills and you can't walk past your teammates. I want to remind you that friendly fire is on in all game modes, so watch out for your friends. The game also has search for server, which is familiar from games such as Team Fortress 2 and Call of Duty. You can also search for your own server if you want to, but this gives you the chance to just join a random server if you don't have any preferences. So what I think about the game? Is it a worthy release or should it just have been completely the same as it used to be? I have to say that I think this game is really cool with arms race being introduced. It is most fun I've had in this FPS game for quite some time actually. Also I think it's ambitious in its own way for Valve to go for that FPS market which is heavily dominated by Call of Duty and Battlefield at the moment. I really want to see how well it makes it against these two giants and can it actually become something big like original Counter-Strike and Source were back in the day. I would say that anyone looking for good FPS games should go pre-purchase this game or buy it, depends when you are watching the video. Even though it isn't revolutionary for the game series, it is still a solid game with a mixture of new and old, which can draw the interest of both new and old players. Thank you for watching my video about Counter-Strike Global Offensive. My name is Rubyace and this is my show c.a.t. Please leave a comment below and like the video if you think it was good. Also remember to hit the subscribe button to receive notice when I release new content. Goodbye.